First here at 5, a court case in Scott County is highlighting mental illness and a lack of proper care for those deemed too sick for the criminal justice system.
The court has ruled a defendant incompetent to stand trial. That means by law he's required to be treated in a mental health facility. But that isn't what's happening. Instead, he's being locked up in the local jail for weeks. And as our Paul Bloom has learned, this is a problem across Minnesota.
The Scott County case involves this man, 27-year-old Anthony Swope. A man court records indicate has at least a couple domestic violence-related convictions, more recently charged with assaulting staff at Shakopee's St. Francis Hospital. The court's declaring Swope incompetent to proceed in the criminal justice system due to mental illness, including schizophrenia and other psychotic disorders. His lawyers argue that finding should have triggered what's known as Minnesota's 48-hour rule, where the state has 48 hours to move a mentally ill subject out of a jail setting and into a state-run treatment facility. That never happened here, now going on some 50 days.
We all know he's got a mental health diagnosis and he's not getting proper treatment in the jail, and as a result his condition is getting more symptomatic.
Also expressing significant concerns about Swope's lack of treatment in violation of Minnesota's civil commitment law, Scott County Judge Colleen King. King ordered the Department of Human Services to appear in her courtroom on Thursday to explain why Swope hasn't been transferred to a proper mental health facility for the care he needs and is mandated to receive. At one point, the judge scolded DHS's legal team, quote, "We want to treat people with illness, not make it worse." But rather than addressing the core issue, lawyers instead filed appeals and questioned the legal process surrounding the hearing.
And that's been their approach to this from the beginning, is just to dip, dodge, duck, point the finger somewhere else.
We do our best to get people who are committed into our facility with as soon as a medically appropriate bed becomes available.
Outside the courtroom, DHS has told us they just don't have enough treatment beds and resources to meet the 48-hour priority admissions laws. Jails fill up with mentally ill subjects like Swope. The statewide wait list just to get admitted into a facility like the Anoka Metro Regional Treatment Center is now at 62, with wait times of between 6 and 8 weeks. The bottleneck blamed on several factors, including not being able to find community placements for those stabilized at treatment facilities, keeping needed beds filled. There are staffing shortages that risk safe patient ratios, and some extreme patients are requiring additional resources that can tax the system.
Everything's frustrating. It's all frustrating, you know.
Anthony Swope's mother doesn't care about the why. She told me she just wants her son to get help so he doesn't hurt himself or someone else.
This is my son, because people that need help, and they don't need to be shuffled in the system where they're just lost.
So while Anthony Swope waits, his mother, you just heard from there, and legal team believe his mental health condition is worsening by the day. Meantime, the judge here doubling down on her order to DHS, requiring the department now to detail its placement efforts, the barriers it has encountered, and what the state has done to provide services to Swope while locked up behind bars for nearly 2 months now. A follow-up hearing on the matter scheduled for next week. We're live in Newsroom tonight. Paul Bloom, Fox 9.